Chapter 0, heading to the school trip. So this is before everything kind of happened, I feel. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm back. So you actually, for the people that only watched Danganronpa, probably didn't notice because I pre-recorded a lot, enough to at least last throughout the entire time I was gone. But yeah, from Friday to Sunday I was gone to Anime Con at like the other side of the country, so it was a lot of traveling, and I was gone for like 3 days as well, so I wasn't able to record or play or upload it much, except for the pre-uploads that I did before I left. So yeah, if you only watched Danganronpa, you really didn't notice that much, but still, just wanted to say I'm back, you know, and it was fun. And actually, when I got back, I had to just catch up on sleep, because I believe I had about a total of 14 hours of sleep over the last 4 days. So yeah, I was desperately in need of some sleep, but I caught up a little bit at least last night, so that's good. But it's time to get back into the thick of things and start well, I wanted to say 6th chapter, but this is apparently chapter 0. So yeah, we're just gonna continue with Danganronpa 2. And one thing I kind of want to say though is that shit is probably about to get real. Like, regardless of what theories or whatever the fuck I had about all the 5 previous chapters, you know, I'm most likely that like 95% of it is going to be not necessarily wrong, but just the fact that we're going to be portrayed to, or you know, going to be exposed to a lot of new information as well. Like, all of the sort of, you know, theories that I'm going off of is of the information that is currently only available and presented at us. But sometimes afterwards, when they actually tell you, like, sometimes they do drop a lot of hints, you know, but when they actually do reveal that information, only at that point does it make sense to at least me, you know? Because if you drop like this really weird sentence in the middle of chapter 2, for example, and you're like, okay. Well, sometimes you just actually, well, most of the time I just skip over it. But then when you start to think back on it, when the real information is being presented, you're like, oh fuck, now this actually makes sense. Like, back then it didn't make sense, but when you actually get that information, you just starts to click, you know? So yeah, I'm just really interested as to what is going to happen. But this is chapter 0, so not chapter 6, so I think this is just going to be about the whole trip, because that's the important part, right? Or at least an important part. That a big difference between Danganronpa 1 and 2 is the fact that Danganronpa 1 entirely took place in Hope's Peak Academy, right? Every single student went to Hope's Peak Academy, then they got knocked unconscious, lost their memory, or their memories were wiped for several years, and then the killing school life began there, right? But it was all at the same location the entire freaking time. But here, however, all of the students went to meet at Hope's Peak Academy for like their first day at school, and then bam, that entire memory is erased from them again, and then they suddenly wake up at this island. So at some point, they were transported from Hope's Peak Academy to this whole island. So I think this is what this particular chapter is going to be about. So let us start and jump right into it. It would be wrong to say it was swaying from side to side. It was actually shaking rather intensely. The room I was in, it was shaking from side to side. The shaking was quite irregular. Just when you thought it was a series of small shakes, it would suddenly shake violently. And every time that happened, I'd have to steady myself with my foot. I couldn't stand up very well. For me, it was comforting. I never thought not knowing what to expect could be so much fun, so I was feeling rather excited. We don't know who this particular character is because it says question mark, but I don't know. Like, I wanted to say like maybe it's still Hajime, but the way that he's sort of talking, like, I've never really heard Hajime just like, oh, this could be so much fun, I'm so excited about stuff, you know? But I figured I'd get bored of that feeling soon enough. That's what I was expecting. For me, a person who is loved by talent, detecting regularities among irregularities won't be that difficult. How boring. Actually, just the fact that how he uses the word like, boring and shit. It might be Nagito? What? Do you like ships? On the other side of the dark room, I heard a voice. Okay, so it's not Nagito. Because we saw the picture, I thought it was Nagito himself, but it's not. We're just a different person looking at Nagito right now. but it's still question mark. It was clearly directed at me. Haha, you look like you were having fun, so that's what I assumed. You do like ships, right? Ships? That's right. That's it. So this is a ship. It's like he heard about it for the first time. Oh, a ship. You just realized that now? Is it really that funny? Hey, if you want, care to talk a little? The silence was starting to bore me. Instantly, I saw his true character. The old familiar attitude, the friendly smile. But under that thin skin, I could detect a foul, offensive odor, like some kind of putrid slime. In a sensible way, of course. How should I put this? It was a smell exclusive to those who were already finished. Already finished? What does that mean? Already dead? Nice to meet you. I'm Nagito Kamada. Anyway, lucky me. It's been a while since anyone was willing to talk to me, so to share a room with a person like that... Yep, I'm definitely lucky, as expected of the ultimate lucky student, right? Lucky? So that's your talent then. What a boring talent. Why do they actually seem so similar? You know, just their use of like boring in general, not necessarily only the word, but just to describe things, you know? Hajime definitely doesn't use that word, from if I remember correctly. It's more of a Nagito thing, but this other person uses it quite often as well. A boring talent, huh? Well, that's exactly what it is. But for someone I'm meeting for the first time to say that so suddenly, that's because I have luck as well. What? Huh? Even I possess a talent as boring as luck. Makoto? Possess? Huh? I'm starting to get really interested. Who are you? You're obviously from Hope's Peak Academy too, right? So you're one of us. But that's weird. This is the first time I've seen you, or ever seen you. Hey, can you tell me why you're here? How did you end up here? How boring. It actually sounds more like, what's this called? Byakuya. It definitely sounds more like Byakuya. Sorry. I'm often told I'm terrible at making conversation. Now the fact that it's, we don't really know if it's like the real Byakuya or this imposter. Well, the imposter could just be so good that he knows every single, you know, the word usage of Byakuya. I mean, if you're the ultimate imposter, you're pretty much flawless at impersonating a person, so you got everything down pat, you know. You're so good that you know all the words that particular person tends to prefer over other words, just how he acts, hand gesture, just simple things like all to the minuscule detail about that person. You would think that the ultimate imposter has that, you know, he knows all of that and does that perfectly. So I'm actually thinking this is with Byakuya or the imposter, it could be either one, talking to Nagito right now. Sorry. I'm often told I'm terrible at making conversation. Not you. This world. Huh? This world is full of boring people. People who lack talent stick together and oppress those who do possess talent. Even though they know they're insignificant, they don't try to acknowledge their true superiors. They are profoundly desperate to drag them down to their level. And because of these bastards, this world has come to a deadlock. This world has stopped evolving. How boring. Well, the world is shaped by the will of the majority. It makes sense that it bends to those who lack talent. That's why we're in our present situation. Perhaps... does that have anything to do with the reason you're here? Boring people make no contributions to the world, not even a speck of dust. That's why my teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. your teachers. Certain degree of selection. Like teacher, that sounds like Monokuma, I don't know. Looks like they had high expectations for you, huh? That's completely different from me. But what are you planning to do? Now that you've ended up like this, there's nothing you can do, right? Listen, well, using people is a talent too. It is now my turn to use that person, just as they used me in the past. Oh, fuck. This hints so much at a specific thing, right? That person. Are you talking about ultimate despair? How is someone as Nagito aware of that? Huh. But how? I mean, they're already... Okay, that's one thing we don't know, right? We assume that Danganronpa 2, like, this happens after the events of Danganronpa 1. I think it's fairly 99% sure to say that, right? But we don't know how much time has passed between Danganronpa 1 and 2. We don't know that either. And we don't know if the events of Danganronpa 1, like, is that... Who knows of what's happened there, right? Because Nagito seems to be aware of what has happened to the ultimate despair. Like, you know what he says, but how? I mean, they're already probably dead is what he's referring to, right? That's what happened in Danganronpa 1 because Junko died. But, like, if he's aware of that, is that because he's special? Does he have certain connections? Or is that like just a common knowledge of the entire world? It was like, I don't know, like, you know, how we all know of the freaking shooting that just happened in Orlando. That tragic event whose blessings all go out to their families and friends and everything, because, you know, shit like that just sucks. But the world that we live in currently, just information like that just spreads so fast, right? Everybody, well, a lot of people are already aware of it, even if you don't even live in a freaking country. But that's the thing, like, is it just common knowledge for the world that Nagito knows this as well? Or is it just because he's, I don't know, has special connections? That's what I'm wondering. I have it with me. The contribution that person left to me. Even now, it rests in my pocket. Oh, okay. So Junko, I think the person that's actually triple question mark is like the person that is like behind the Monokuma during Danganronpa 2. Because, you know, it's the thing that makes sense, makes the most sense is that, to me at least, is that Junko died. And somehow, was it again? God damn it, this is why I hate not playing for 3 days, because I kind of forget about what happened in last time. But they said like something got left behind of Monokuma, like the program or something, right? Something along those lines. Like, I'm probably not referring to it correctly, but it was something like, I think I mentioned something where like, oh, it's just like the information of Monokuma on a floppy disk or something, you know, or a USB drive. Like, feels like that is the part that Junko left to this particular person, the 3 question marks. And Nagito is actually, so this is the person that's behind everything? Huh. The rest in my pocket. And now he's like, oh yeah, when we get to the island, I'm gonna use it. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely lucky. I can't believe I'm speaking with someone as amazing as you. Oh my god, here's the creepy look again. Then, will I be able to see her again? Will I be able to see the person I hate with every fiber of my being again? And this time, will I be able to kill her this time? The person I hate so much. Hate? Then explain your hand. His left arm is bandaged. Ah, this? The end of that bandage is a woman's hand. What? Oh, look at his fingernails. What the fuck? Okay, what the actual fuck? Please tell me he just let his... Oh no. What? Did he get like a... His previous arm or hand was amputated and now he got a different one attached to his body? I almost want to say like hand or arm transplant, but is that even a thing? But look, the fingernails and the hand is kind of, it looks like a woman. Like if you just, you know, if you cover your hands and everything over Nagito's face and just solely look at the hand, even if you weren't only looking at the fingernails, right? Just the shape of the hand a little bit, like it's rather thin. I actually have quite of a feminine hand as well. I know, fuck me, right? But yeah, like it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of this slim, thin hand. It doesn't look very rough and strong either, you know. It looks like a feminine hand, even without the long fingernails. So, what the fuck? Isn't it amazing? I can't move it, of course. I mean, it's not my hand after all. But even now, it still hasn't rotted. Hey, maybe that means it's becoming one with me. Isn't it amazing? I have successfully become one with ultimate despair. My sworn enemy, so that is Junko's hand. Like, those fingernails were kind of a distinct thing because it was mentioned in Danganronpa 1 as well. But I wasn't quite sure if it was Junko, but it is. I see. So you salvaged the body. You really are a boring person. I don't want you to misunderstand. I just see her as my enemy, you know? Because she's my sworn enemy. Because I hate her so much. Okay, you're like really, Nagito, I know the saying is, you know, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer, but you're taking that saying a bit too far, okay? That doesn't mean you can become one or should become one with your enemy. That's why I took her power, and for that, Wait. Huh? Do I hate her? Huh. That's strange. Huh? One times 1 million. It's like he's having this internal struggle within himself. Is Junko taking over his body somehow, or his mind? Just through her hand alone? Look out the window. We're finally here. The island. You're starting to see it too, right? That's Jabberwock Island, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? I wonder what's going to happen on that island once we get there. What's going to happen? I can already predict what will happen. Huh? I already know because I am loved by my talent, or by talent. But no matter what happens, it's of no concern to me. I will not be able to participate in what lies ahead. Really? I don't really understand. But I guess we have to part ways for a while. That's disappointing. We seem to get along pretty well. Hey, can I see you again? There is no reason we'll ever meet again. The strange thing, right, I feel like that is a normal guy would say, like, can I see you again? Is like, you say that to a person you get along with, but it's usually, you know, a guy or a girl says that to someone that they actually like, you know, like, oh, I had such a nice time meeting you today. Can I see you again? Or when can I see you next time, you know? So that threw me a little bit off, like, wait, could this person actually be a girl as well? But nah, I think it's still Byakuya. That makes the most sense just from the way that he's speaking and the way he says, like, I'm loved by my talent as well, or because of my talent. That kind of seems like a Byakuya thing as well. There is no reason we'll ever meet again. After all, you are boring. Your talent, your thoughts, your entire existence is boring to me. You really don't play along, do you? Heading to the school trip. Oh, we're gonna wake up at the beach? Huh? What is this? It's a door. There's a door. Huh? A door? Why is a door here? Where am I? How did I get here? Where am I supposed to go? To the door? Yeah, and then we entered the classroom, and then everybody here was present, right? And then we had like this introduction, sort of. Well, not like a big introduction. That happened at the island itself. But at least we saw everyone standing in the classroom at that moment. And then Monokuma took us to this island. Or at least Monokuma kind of said like, oh, alright guys, we're gonna go here, blah, blah. Huh? Isn't this a classroom? But even so, it's a very strange classroom. Why am I in a place like this? I went inside the ancient ruin with everyone else. And I arrived at a place that looked like a trial ground. But then, why? It's not connecting. I don't know why I'm here. It's like there's no connection between how I left the trial ground and how I ended up here. It's just like before. When we were all gathered in that classroom, just before we arrived at Jabberwock Island. But where is this place? Is it somewhere on Jabberwock Island? What? I actually look at the top right like, huh, what time is it? But according to the top right, it says chapter 6, okay?
Ahem, ahem, testing, testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system.
Oh my god.
Am I on? Can everyone hear me? Okay, well then.
I mean, it was fairly certain that we went into Hope's Peak Academy, right? But just the fact that you see him in this chair, you kind of see the background of that old, like, surveillance room, you know? The one that, when was it revealed? Was it the last chapter or the 5th chapter in Danganronpa 1? I'm not entirely sure, but, like, you know, the room with all the cameras, all the TVs and shit. He's back in that room again.
Welcome to Hope's Peak Academy, you guys. At this point, I shall explain the graduation exam to you all.
Graduation exam? What?
So please assemble at the gymnasium immediately.
The distortion, though, it's still there on the screen. Huh? Did he say what I think he just said? Yes, he definitely said it. He said, "Welcome to Hope's Peak Academy." But why would this place be Hope's Peak Academy? And not just that, what is the graduation exam? Isn't the killing over already? Oh no, it's not. It's never over. Haven't you learned? The old building, actually, oh my god. Even the hallway doesn't feel like a school at all. What a creepy place. At least, it doesn't look like a normal school at all. It's definitely a lie. There's no way this place is Hope's Peak Academy. Is this creepy place the Hope's Peak Academy that I've admired for so long? It is. It's probably a building that Monokuma made to startle us. Just like the funhouse. That's right. That's definitely it. Monokuma said to come to the gymnasium, right? Then I'll go and definitely clear things up. So the weird thing I'm like really wondering, right, is like, look at this distortion. There's like distinct distortion that apparently this allows us from entering this place as well. But yeah, you know what this leads to. This leads to like the hallway, and then once you enter this and look on your right, that's where the cafeteria is. This is another classroom, and that's actually the door to the where the class trial was held. So it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, when we entered at the end of the previous video, we saw that the class ground, or a class trial ground, you know, and then we just entered through here and went through this door. But I'm really wondering, like, what is the reason for this particular distortion? Is it because, like, because it can be for several reasons, right? One of the things that I was thinking, like, because the thing was that we were in a previous video, we were seeing like the people that have died with particular distortion as well. Like, is this? Because the first thing that came to mind is like, is this all just a fucking game, or are we inside of a computer program somehow? I don't even fucking know, but at least that could be a particular reason for distortion happening on your screen and weird stuff like that, you know? Or is it like, because parts of our memories have been taken, and perhaps, I don't know, maybe we are merged with other people as well or something, or our memories or brains are somehow merged, that like, because this doesn't make sense to us, this doesn't make any sense to us at the moment because our memories have been stolen in some way, that it's just not accessible because, and that's why it shows up as distortion? I don't fucking know. Illuminati confirmed. That's kind of grayed out as well. Everything that we're not supposed to go is just off limits. Wait, yeah, the gymnasium is here. The gymnasium is here. Right? Alright. I'm going inside. But the thing also could be like that the person that is behind everything, if that, you know, I don't know if it's the person behind like the current Monokuma, or if the ultimate despair is somehow back alive, probably not. Or if it's the future foundation, or even someone above the future foundation, I don't fucking know. But let's just say that if there's one person behind everything that's happened, maybe he's just putting, like, you know, putting us in this place to just follow this, because that's what it feels like, you know. Even if you were to look at this from like a game design or just aspect, like obviously every single door is closed off because they don't want us to go there. They're leading us to this specific route, to this place, to the gymnasium, right? That's just where they're leading us, which is why everything is off limits. But the best and smartest way to do that is to actually have a reason behind it, rather than just like saying like, no, you can't go here, you know, to make it fitting inside of the story and everything as well. So I feel like, I don't know, it could be something that's just like a higher being that's just toying with us, like, ha ha ha, well, you can't go here yet because you're not allowed yet, you have to go past here. So he's kind of like guiding us as well. I don't know. Well, let's go inside. Something might be waiting, but I'm not going to cower away anymore. And so I braced myself and cautiously opened the door. What if the two, like Danganronpa 1 and 2 has merged now? I don't fucking know. Chapter 6. This is the end. Goodbye, Academy of Despair. I wasn't prepared for what was waiting for me on the other side of that door. What is it? It was a normal gymnasium. Wow, I totally wasn't expecting that. Well, I mean, it just shows, you know, how skeptical Hajime is. Wait, it says gymnasium on the door. That means it's probably... Then the last thing he expects is just actually a normal gymnasium.
Damn right.
Yo, Hajime.
Yo.
You heard the announcement and came here too, right? You guys did too, right?
What's going on?
Hey! What do you make of all this? Monokuma said this place was Hope's Peak Academy or something, right?
That is...
That cannot be possible.
Well, yeah.
You're right. Any way you look at it, it's impossible. No, it's not. Hello? How does it feel to return to long-awaited Hope's Peak Academy?
Why, you...
Hey, where are we? Why'd you lock us up this time?
That's...
What a shock! I just told you guys this is Hope's Peak Academy!
Of course not!
There's no way in hell that's true!
No.
Oh, but it is. I mean, this is definitely Hope's Peak Academy. Well, what's left of it anyway? What's left of it?
What?
Ah, that could be a reason too, like why... But that's the weird thing, like why does it show up as distortion? But it could also just be, like he says, what's left of it, right? So, yeah, if we read this next sentence. Didn't I tell you before? Unfortunately, Hope's Peak Academy fell to ruin. So if... That could have happened either after Makoto and everyone left Hope's Peak Academy, or just slightly after that, or perhaps even during that or whatever. But like, you know, that those particular parts of the school just aren't accessible because they've crumbled down in some way into this ruin, you know? So that could be a reason why we're not accessing either. But then it should usually, you know, in other games, if it's like, oh, you can't go through this hallway because it's totally collapsed because all the walls have fallen and stuff like that. So it's usually like blocked off by broken walls or stones or concrete or whatever, you know. But here it like really slowly shows us distortion or like a force field in front of it almost as well, you know.
Lies.
You were serious about that?
Stupid fool!
I don't believe it. But of course it fell to ruin. I mean, they were doing things that they deserve to be ruined for. What do you mean? Why is Monokuma saying this? Because unless he's talking about, I don't know, it depends who he's talking about.
I don't like this.
Anyway, I'm pretty disappointed. I went to all this trouble to bring you back to Hope's Peak Academy. You don't feel surprised or nostalgic.
Of course not. It's hard to feel nostalgic if you don't remember coming here in the first place. Or, you know, having gone through because our memories are stolen, you know, so we don't know what happened here while we were here.
Fine.
Oh well, it's not like I did this for you guys. Even if you don't feel nostalgic, I'm sure someone is feeling nostalgic right now.
Yep, and that someone is me. God damn it, we're back. Someone?
Don't fuck with me!
Enough with this bullshit. Just spit it out already. Where'd you take us, you bastard? Though I am not certain of my memories, I believe we entered the ancient ruin. And
In other words,
It means I made this Hope's Peak Academy between the door to the ruin and the inside of the ruin. What do you mean between?
Hey!
What do you mean made?
what's this?
Oh my! Are your minds getting the grumblies that only knowledge can satisfy?
Yes! Fucking yes! Times a million.
Good. Very good. It's fine to hurry along to the graduation exam, but it is in my nature to provide a little extra entertainment.
Entertainment? You're planning to make us do something, aren't you?
No way!
It's nothing to be so cautious about. It's not like you'll be making life exchanges or anything like that.
Life exchanges? What?
Shing! It's just a simple graduation exam.
Wow, where's my pen? Then, what is the graduation exam?
Hey,
Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate.
are you sure about this?
But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world.
So,
that's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. Huh?
why?
We're obviously gonna get out. There's no way we'd stay here.
That's right!
This is annoying. Just hurry up and let us choose. Let us choose right now.
No!
You can't do that. The main cast hasn't arrived yet.
Oh, fuck! What do you mean main cast? Danganronpa 1, Makoto? Main cast?
Hey,
Meaning, you guys are just extras until the guests of honor arrives.
damn it!
So enough complaining already. Hurry up and start researching the outside world.
What do you mean?
I have dispersed all the teaching materials you need for your research throughout Hope's Peak Academy. Well, I don't think this needs to be said, but all the information is accurate and contains no lies whatsoever. Otherwise, the main cast is gonna hate me. So, please rest assured and strive to do your best during your field trip.
And as usual, after leaving us with his cryptic words, Monokuma disappeared. That's an important thing that needs to be, because that just, you know, takes questioning out of the equation. if Monokuma, he just says everything has to be the truth, right? I mean, you could also argue that that might possibly be a lie, but it's just easier to go along with that fact that he says everything is factual, it's true, that we're going to find. So that's just for, even if he ends up lying about this, I just think it's much easier for us to talk from the perspective that we actually believe that everything is true. So it just flows easier. If he fooled us, if he lied about us, then fine, he fucking lied. I'm not gonna question every single thing like that we find and then say like, wait, maybe he lied about this, you know? That's just gonna overcomplicate things a bit, unless it's something that's really obviously didn't happen. Like, for example, you know, if he ends up saying, oh, the first person that actually died in Danganronpa 1 was Byakuya, not Sayaka, like, that's the one thing that we're like, you know, I mean, he says it's the truth, so maybe we gotta accept that as the truth and then try and figure out why that really happened. But I don't think like something that as clearly as contradicting as we sort of experienced ourselves in Danganronpa 1 is like going to surface in terms of information. But let's just find out. Even if the setting had changed, even if the killing was finished, he was still the same as usual. What is going on? Outside world? Main cast? Somehow, I have a bad feeling about this. The thing that really like kind of made me smile a little bit is that he said that we're all extras and the main cast is coming soon, you know? Because I kind of thought at a certain point, was like, maybe we're all reserve course students and we're just kind of the backup class of Hope's Peak Academy, of the characters in Danganronpa 1. So we're just, you know, the second class. We're not as important as Makoto and stuff. That could make sense at least. I mean, that's what it could hint at possibly, but we won't really know until we see the actual main cast.
Hey,
Like, who else could he be referring to as the main cast, right?
Like, he kept insisting that this place is Hope's Peak Academy. But that's impossible, right?
What are you saying?
How do we make it back to Hope's Peak Academy from a tropical island in the first place? It's impossible.
The strangest thing here is, right, it's not necessarily how we got back from Jabberwock Island to Hope's Peak Academy through entering that ancient ruin, but the weirdest thing about that is that we actually saw that boat trip at the beginning, right? Because you could possibly argue that at the very beginning of this game, when we entered the school, and then the moment, like the transition period between like when we entered the school, got knocked out, and then awoke on this tropical island, that we could have been, you know, this is just perhaps an example, maybe there's like a more better explanation for it, but you could possibly argue like, oh, we all just, you know, we got that like we went through a portal or whatever that led to this, or we actually just went outside, or that Jabberwock Island is just actually outside of Hope's Peak Academy, and that's what Makoto and stuff saw when they actually left Hope's Peak Academy too, and that the true location of it is actually on Jabberwock Island. I don't know, could be that, but you know, the fact that we see the boat trip is the weirdest part. But the thing about that is that Nagito was on that boat trip, and the mystery person with the 3 question marks, not all of us. So that could actually make sense, that we all, that the outside of Hope's Peak Academy just changed throughout the 2 years or something in Jabberwock Island, or the location of Hope's Peak Academy changed. Because I feel like at a certain point, I think it was in chapter 2 when the ancient ruin got revealed, was that it's either the real Hope's Peak Academy somehow changing locations. I don't know how the fuck you would do that with an entire school building as huge as that, you know? But to entirely relocate it from a place in Japan. Because remember that very first scene that we see, you know, of Hope's Peak Academy. I think it appears in both Danganronpa 1 and 2. But you just see it in like a normal environment, you know? There are like trees around, just street around. Like it's just a normal school in a normal location. Not in the middle of a fucking island. So, you know, that's what you think, like, oh, this is where Hope's Peak Academy is located. Okay, just in the normal central city district or whatever, you know. But things could have changed throughout the 2 years, where either the environment around Hope's Peak Academy has changed into Jabberwock Island. Don't know how the fuck they would do that, but it's a possibility. Or the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy, like the school just changed locations to this island. Also don't know how the fuck they would do that, but it could be possible, regardless of how far-fetched it may be. But yeah, I feel like there are multiple possibilities here, but I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a clear distinction we need to make, though. Like, yeah, we saw the boat trip, so like it's possible for us to assume that, you know, we didn't actually take a boat trip from Hope's Peak Academy to Jabberwock Island, and it was only Makoto, that it was only Nagito and that mystery person that took the boat to Jabberwock Island, and that they were brought there from, I don't know, somewhere else.
It cannot be.
There is no place for Hope's Peak Academy to exist on Jabberwock Island. I said I wanted to go back, but I don't want to go back to a creepy place like this. What does this mean? So many things I don't understand have happened on the island. This building is really Hope's Peak Academy? Yeah, like, look at this. It's just... It obviously looked less, you know, broken down, dilapidated. It doesn't look like a ruin, but the structure of it is really similar to the ancient ruin as well, so... Hope's Peak Academy. This is the Hope's Peak Academy I've been admiring for so long? What in the world is going on? Damn it. Why is this happening? Why? He looked so happy. He was like, oh yes, finally able to go to my dream school. I was finally able to attend Hope's Peak Academy. I finally thought I'd become confident in myself. Even so, I wanted to become Hope? If that's what you're thinking, just stop it. Yeah, and then Nagito crapped all over our dream, like thinking, oh yes, we have this talent, we are worthy to come to Hope's Peak Academy. And then Nagito just crushed that dream with apparent reality of us not having a good talent and just being part of the reserve department. Listen carefully. The only humans worthy of becoming Hope possess amazing talents and a strong will. And the moment you're born into this world, you either have that or you don't. It has nothing to do with effort. You must be chosen by Hope to become Hope. That's why it's not even worth admiring. Or were you so blinded by your admiration for Hope's Peak Academy that you couldn't even see that? That's a possibility. I mean, you could clearly see Hajime looks up to Hope's Peak Academy a lot, just the entire institution, right? Just what it means, what it stands for, and that he's able to become part of it. He's like, oh, yes. God. You're just some nobody from the reserve course who never had a talent to begin with. A nobody who forgot he was a nobody. That's all. If I really am a nobody, then you should have just left me alone. Why? Why do I have to go through something like this? Hajime, did something happen? Huh?
Hey, bastard!
Now's not the time to zone out. Sorry, it's nothing. I don't really get it, but is that all?
I'm gonna do it!
As long as I don't beat the crap out of Monokuma, nothing's gonna be solved. Is that what it means?
Hey,
Just what the heck is Monokuma anyway? He's not part of the Future Foundation, right? If you say that, then what is the Future Foundation?
jeez.
Even though Chiaki and Monomi are gone, our situation hasn't changed one bit, which means the Future Foundation wasn't our enemy. It's the only thing I can think of.
You serious?
So they're not World Ender? Then we're really tricked by Monokuma?
However...
That doesn't necessarily make it. Could be that the Future Foundation is known as the World Ender, but that it's a nickname given to them, right? Like sometimes you just get given a nickname to you because you did something, even though you didn't. Your intention wasn't to do that, you know, like.
Like their intentions wasn't to cause the end of the world, but somehow they did cause the end of the world, and that's just the nickname they were given. Ha, you caused the end of the world. Regardless of whether it was your intention or not, that's just how you'll be known as right now. However, the Future Foundation is responsible for trapping us on this island, right? Regarding that matter, I believe Monami never once denied that. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Damn it.
Even if there are allies, they might not just be allies.
Maybe Monokuma is telling us to investigate that information on our own. Chiaki said she could not betray the Future Foundation. But if she were still alive, she definitely would have helped us. Oh, Chiaki, I'm missing you already. How can we go through another just... I can't survive this chapter without her. No. Even her just being with us would have been a big help.
So what should we do?
Damn it.
Well, that's obvious.
If we're gonna get out of here safely, we just have to do that graduation exam, right?
So annoying.
Graduation exam, huh? I'm not really good at taking exams.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, I guess it's better than people dying.
Jeez.
Monokuma said something about a field trip, right? Is he telling us to investigate like we have been?
All right.
I'm gonna do it!
Prepare yourself!
Yeah.
Like...
We might be able to learn about something. About Hope's Peak Academy. About ourselves.
I don't care if we don't know anything. If we could just go back to our normal lives, then I'm fine.
Hey!
We could go home when this is over, right? We can finally get off this damn island, right?
If that's the case, let's all leave this island alive by any means.
Of course.
Hell yes!
He's right. Now's not the time to bemoan how unlucky I am. Where this place really is, what's happened to Hope's Peak Academy, none of that matters. Well, not right now. It matters, but in probably later on. What's important is, I need to leave this island with the others. We sacrificed so many lives in order to survive, just so we could do that. There's no way we can stop now. But Monokuma should already know that that's what we're thinking. So why did he say that? We have to decide on our own whether or not we want to leave Jabberwock Island. He should already know that we'd never choose to stay on this island from the current information that we know, right? Because maybe perhaps all the information that we've been told and that we know about everything, even Danganronpa 1 included, it can only mean one side of the story, you know? Because according to this story, Monokuma and the ultimate despair, blah blah blah, it's kind of the bad side, you know? That's how the story is being told. But if you look at a story or just anything from both sides, both perspectives, it will give you a clearer picture, and it will be allow you to sort of just choose and or firstly understand exactly what has happened, and then choose correctly, or at least, you know, personally, what you think is like the good side and the bad side in that sense, you know. So perhaps we've only been revealed one side of the story so far. And it could just be like, oh wait, Makoto and everything and Hope is actually bad as well, or you know, it could that they just entirely flipped the script. So he could mean something possibly like that, or just maybe once again like, you know, oh maybe this school, even if it's in partly ruined, this school is still safer than the real outside world. So you know, because that's kind of the reason why at least the main cast, the people of Danganronpa 1 were actually kept in Hope's Peak Academy, you know, to shield themselves off of what was happening outside in the real world. So I feel like it could be either one of those two.
Hey!
So what are we gonna do? Can we start already? But what are we even looking for? Do we just have to investigate this weird-ass building?
Even so.
I don't think we'll find the answers to all our questions inside this damn building.
Well, I'm just go on ahead for now.
Whoa!
Hey, you already going?
Jeez.
What is that idiot thinking running around without being cautious?
Man.
She obviously isn't thinking about anything at all, ever. Like, okay. Remember how I kind of said, like, Yasuhiro in Danganronpa 1 was, like, really stupid? I don't want to say, like, she is not stupid on Yasuhiro's level, on Hiro's level at all, but there are similarities there for sure.
However,
I feel like Akane is more reckless than Hiro was. Hiro was always being passive. I feel like he was very passive, but he was very stupid too. Akane, I feel like she's not the smartest person, that is for sure. But I feel like it's more that she's being reckless, which makes her look like she is sometimes more stupid than she is. But she's definitely not a bright person. But I feel like it's more recklessness than stupidity.
It will be fine. There will no longer be any situations where we must exchange each other's lives.
As far as we know and hope.
all right.
So we should do our best as well. Like they say, it is not scary if everyone stops at a green light.
If we stopped at the green light, we'd never reach our goal. What the hell was that?
You're pathetic.
Akane already took off on her own. It might be faster if we split up and look around too. Okay, so I usually don't look at this. Where is it? It's F2, right? This transcript. It's not scary if everyone stops at a green light. But yeah, it's kind of like Hajime said. There would be no progress at all. Imagine if you're on the traffic light. Oh, like the moment a green light starts to show, and if we just stop, then nobody's actually going anywhere. We're all just standing still, right? Unless it's in reverse and you drive when it's red and you stop when it's green. But that would actually be dangerous as well, actually way more dangerous, because it's red more often and red at multiple stops at the same time than it would be when one shows up green. So, I don't know, I feel like, you know, always a sentence like this, like I kind of hinted at before, like, you know, a sentence might not make a lot of sense now, but it will make sense later. I feel like this might be one of those. Like, I just don't know exactly what this refers to and what it implies exactly, but maybe it'll make sense later. Yeah, we should look around too. Like Sonia said, there's no more killing. We don't have to worry about anyone betraying us anymore.
Then, let's get this over with and go home.
Later.
I don't want to say that there's no more betrayal at all, but, you know, I don't think we'll necessarily be betraying us, but I feel like we'll be just... we will be given more information that will just make us question a lot of things, and maybe perhaps how we'll look at people differently, or these people present here, which I guess could cause us to betray each other, perhaps. But I don't know. Fuck, I'm really looking forward to this, looking around. And with those brief words, Fuyuhiko left the gym. He just said, like, later.
Excuse me.
I shall do my best to obtain a wonderful clue that will be useful to everyone. Now then,
Please excuse me. Be on your way, Your Highness. Sonia took a deep bow and then left the gymnasium.
Oh my!
Miss Sonia!
Miss Sonia!
Please don't leave me! I'll be in danger if I'm left alone.
Kazuichi chased after Sonia, who had just departed, and left the gymnasium. I should hurry and start too. Just a bit more. Just a tiny bit more, and it's going to end. I can escape this nightmare and return to my usual, peaceful, everyday life. The only thing we can do is advance towards that hope. Even though I don't understand, and that a lot of horrifying things keep happening. For the sake of everyone who couldn't make it this far, I'm definitely going to go home. Oh, investigation time. Alright, we're just gonna save that for the next video, so... Dang, what a setup for the last chapter. We are indeed back at the old Hope's Peak Academy. Yeah, I was expecting this, like, you know, it looks like Hope's Peak Academy, even if it kept saying Ancient Ruin. There were several hints throughout that this could be Hope's Peak Academy. So, and it makes a lot of sense that we're just kind of back here, you know, because it ties everything together. And that's what I was sort of hoping for. That the conclusion of Danganronpa 1 would tie a lot of the sort of, like, the ending of Danganronpa 1 definitely wasn't bad, but it just left you with a lot of questions, even more questions than answers perhaps at the end, you know? Like it had this sort of open for interpretation ending, and I'm just hoping at least some of that partly gets resolved here as well, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to check out the next video. So thank you guys so very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. Dang, and I hope to see you all in the next video of Danganronpa 2. Peace.